From what began, the first words of the day when you have to look at how it defined India, it was stupid, stupid, stupid. But in the space of just 2 sessions, it's now dominated by 3 words. Nitish Kumar Reddy. Because today, Nitish Kumar Reddy's magnificent maiden ton, backed up with a 127 run stand that he had for the 8th wicket, with Washington Sundar, who also chipped in with a 50, has ensured that India don't stare at a super massive deficit. Yes, the deficit is still there. 116 runs, 3 days are over. Perhaps India have the momentum on this pitch. But today, Nitish Kumar Reddy has stepped up in a way no one else could. He showed the top order how to bat with discipline. He's shown, if you apply yourself, how it can be. Yes, there was drama. When he was on 99, he had a brain, when 97, he had a brain fade, he kind of lofted it. He took 2 runs when he should have only taken 1. But that is what pressure can do. When Jasprit Bumrah fell for duck, you felt that, is it going to be denied? But Mohammad Siraj played out 3 deliveries, and because of that, Nitish Reddy from 221 for 7, 358 for 9. Only 4 wickets fell today, which is perhaps an indication that the pitch is getting better. It won't be easy to take wickets. But Nitish Reddy's 100 was summed up by Mutyala Reddy, his father who had come. His entire family is there at the MCG, and he was in tears. Nitish Reddy's father was in tears, and you could see the host broadcasters are continuing to play that particular thing. We'll also be having a video out on Sports Today about that reaction exclusively from the MCG that we are getting. It's a proud moment for Nitish Reddy, and as a batter, he stepped up. The debate is going to be on this only. After this particular knock of Nitish Reddy, all the Pushpa memes, all the Tiger memes, all the Nahi Jhukega memes, all are going to come. The Shabashia songs will be on loop and everything will happen. But Nitish Kumar Reddy, is it the arrival of a true star? Or what is Nitish Reddy's role? Is he a batter? Is he an all-rounder? Is he a batting all-rounder? A bowling all-rounder? Just who is exactly Nitish Reddy after this knock in Melbourne today?
I think before we really answer that question, let's just take a moment to, I think, soak in the kind of innings that he has played, because I was speaking to Siddharth a few minutes back also, before stumps were eventually called, that every BGT in Australia, it continues to throw up those, massive players or those massive knocks that go on to create those big Indian players. I think let's just maybe begin with 2008. I think it was Ishant Sharma. Then 11, obviously, it was Kohli. 14, once again, it was Kohli and Rahane for that matter. 18, I think it was basically the coming of Bumrah, and obviously Chiteshwar Pujara also, who excelled in his role really well. 2021, Washington Sundar, Natarajan, Shardul Thakur, many players. And once again, it's Nitish Kumar Reddy. I think it's a love affair that the Indians continue to have down under. Having said that, I think his innings was pretty much a chanceless innings. Something that you would really expect from your top order batters to show some kind of temperament on a wicket that's pretty much flat. It wasn't really to be the case, but that Nitish Reddy once again showing the top order batters for that matter as to how you would really want to go about your business on such kind of wickets. And I think more importantly, it's very much about sticking to basics. That let's just try and play in the V. Let's just make sure you don't play all those lofted shots at a consistent rate. Let's just keep your defense strong. Let's just leave all those balls outside off stump. Let's just also make sure that if it's an ego tussle, then you are the one who basically come out on top. Something a certain India number 4 needs to probably take care of coming from the next match. I think Nitish Reddy has just done the basics right, so I'm not really going to be extravagant in my praise. It's just that what he has done is basically a testament and an example to what the top order batters should be doing for India, not just in BGT, but irrespective of the conditions. And now coming back to the question that Siddharth you asked,
that you can answer later also. It's a two-part question when you look at it. So the first part is about the knock.
Yeah.
So about the knock, Shashwat, what do you think?
I think, like Gulati sir also said, I think it has been more about just sticking to the basics all throughout the series, I think. And also another thing that has gone in favor of Nitish Reddy is that there hasn't been too much focus on him in that sense. You know, we have been talking about him. There have been questions over him again and again that should he be part of this test team or not, because he's sort of slotted in as an all-rounder. So because of that, on his batting in particular, there hasn't been too much talk. The Australian team, when they are done with most of the batters, when a number 8 Nitish Reddy is coming, they don't have too many plans for him. They don't, like for everybody, they have specific plans. For Virat, they have a plan. For KL Rahul, they are attacking him on the stumps again and again. For a certain Rohit Sharma, they have their plans. Rishabh Pant, they have a field setup which sort of, doesn't allow him to attack that way. But that's not been the case with Nitish Reddy. All throughout, his runs haven't hurt Australia till now. Even this 100, I don't think how much is this going to hurt Australian team in context of the whole match moving ahead. Even before this, all this 40s, consistent 40s did not hurt the Australian team. So that is also a very big reason that things haven't sort of been planned for him, and that he not taking anything away from his batting, of course, because even though there are no plans, you still scoring a century at the MCG is at the end of the day scoring a century in Australia on your first tour at just 21 years of age. So that anyways is a no small feat for in that sense for any batter. Just moving ahead, test career, I think I'm not going to read too much into it, because as far as his role is concerned, I don't know how much is his second facet, that is the bowling, how much he can contribute with that. But as far as batting is concerned, I think in this tour at least, one thing that he has definitely shown is that he is somebody who can play as a pure batter as well in such conditions, what even an Akshar Patel has shown on many occasions. So are you going to stick with him as a pure batter moving ahead? Because you also have to keep in mind there are other batters who are ahead in the pecking order. All of those things will be a little confusing for the Indian team, but I just hope that they do not sort of treat him the way what they did with an Akshar Patel, because as a batter, because you got him in as an all-rounder, now he's proving to be a great batter, so he should definitely be treated as a batter. Then you should treat him as a batter, keep him ahead of everyone else because of the runs that he scored, but then sort of do not keep him in the all-rounder bracket, because that certainly will break his confidence as well. White ball cricket, we all know, we have seen what he can do for India in the IPL. For SRH, we have seen him again and again. So definitely a long way. In white ball, definitely for him. Red ball, I think it's going to be... it all depends on how he is sort of taken care of and how he is moved, sort of nurtured in Test cricket.
I mean, see, the shots that were played today, okay, all along the ground, the straight drives were really magnificent. He rotated the strike well, had confidence in Sundar. They ground it out pretty well. They've exploited the gaps well, which showed great game awareness. Washington Sundar, when you look at it, was the able ally to Nitish Reddy. That's why Nitish Reddy could actually play with that same confidence where Sundar would grind one end out, Sundar would kind of go, Nitish Reddy would go over the top. Sometimes when push came to shove, he did employ the lofted shot on many occasions. But I think the nature of the wicket is such that you are not able to time it properly. Look at it, 10 fours, 11 fours in an entire 127 run partnership, which indicates the pitch might be sluggish in Melbourne at this point in time. But is this kind of vindication that you look at it, is it justified now that the Indian cricket team selection? Because what was our major gripe? Okay, 3 all-rounders are there. Why do you need 3 all-rounders? But look at what your 3 all-rounders have done today. Ravindra Jadeja took 4 wickets, but on his bowling alone, he can do it, okay? But Washington Sundar has contributed to the bat. Nitish Reddy has hit 105, okay? But I'm getting to that. What do you make of Nitish Reddy? Is he an all-rounder? Is he a proper batter? Because with the ball, apart from the 2 wickets that he got of Marnus Labuschagne, and he's gotten 1 more wicket if I'm not mistaken.
Labuschagne twice.
Yeah, Labuschagne twice. He's just not played his part with the ball. But are we going to focus more on Nitish Kumar Reddy, the batter today, or are we going to focus more on Nitish Kumar Reddy, the all-rounder? If you are only focusing on him today as a batter, you got problems. You have to focus on a holistic 360 degrees as to Nitish Kumar Reddy, the all-rounder in Test cricket. Maybe is he going to go down the Steve Smith route? Started off as a spin bowling all-rounder, Steve Smith. He's a bowling all-rounder, but he's now become a pure batter.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then you should sort of make the, that's why I'm saying it's going to be very important how the team management actually deals with the Nitish Kumar Reddy moving ahead. As per your convenience, you cannot treat him as an all-rounder as per your convenience, and as a batter as per your convenience. When you want to drop him, treat him like an all-rounder. When you want to keep him, treat him like a batter. If that's the case, then it's going to be very, very wrong on him. Treat him like a batter, definitely, but as far as all-rounder is concerned, I don't think still it is justified to play 3 all-rounders, because at the end of the day, even after the contributions with the bat by the all-rounders, you're still trailing by 120. So somewhere that has definitely affected your team and your team in the larger context of the game. So that selection, I'm still not happy with it, and I still question the same. I would have the same question that I had yesterday, that why did you play 3 all-rounders, which wasn't needed, because your bowling at the end of the day suffered because of that, and that's a very big reason why you're going after such a big score. So if you Nitish Reddy clearly, which is now by the end of the day, even though he has got this century, we know he's not an all-rounder in Test cricket. He definitely treat him like
So
a
far.
batter so far. Treat him like a batter, number 6, keep him there, but then consist with, be constant and sort of give him that longer rope as a batter. Then don't drop him someday saying that we need to play some all-rounders, because that will be wrong on him. Then sort of his batting ability in Test cricket, you will not be able to use it to the fullest.
I think first of all, I'm not really sure as to who really makes these kind of decisions, but we have seen one thing is for sure, that in the last couple of test matches, or even I think throughout the BGT so far, the workload of Bumrah, Siraj and the third pacer, whoever India have played, Harshit Rana first couple of matches, then Akashdeep, I think has been tremendous for that matter, too much for that matter. I think you've bowled a lot. There have been those bigger spells that a certain Jasprit Bumrah has bowled 7 to 8 over spells, something I'm not really sure whether he should be really doing it consistently, knowing that his fitness would be a question mark heading into the more crucial matches that India will play, not just the SCG test but also the Champions Trophy. India would need Bumrah there, and so will they need Siraj, despite the fact that he is not really in the best of his forms. I think first of all, the point is the usage of certain bowlers by Rohit Sharma. Now, if you are playing with a total of 6 bowlers in your 11, now, irrespective of the rationale that you have made as far as your playing 11 is concerned, I think you need to utilize all your bowlers very well. Let's just go back to Nitish Kumar Reddy's spell that he had in the first innings. He only came into bowl at consistently when you basically had to squeeze out those overs from 70th until 79th, so that your fast bowlers could once again return to action with the new ball. So his job is not just of a filler, that he'll just have to fill in those overs. I think you will have to groom Nitish Reddy as a bowler, and that's where the role of a certain Morne Morkel would be crucial if you want Nitish Reddy to become a test all-rounder that Hardik Pandya could never become because of his fitness. That's where I think
is he that? I think that is also an issue. I think
you're seeing him like that. Whether you are really able to make him that kind of an all-rounder or not, now that's going to be a different discussion altogether.
Him like that, I think that was a very, very premature decision to make, that you were seeing him like that. The batting skills that he displayed, absolutely tremendous, that have come as a bonus, but you were not expecting him to be this good with batter. The only reason you went in with him was that you wanted to squeeze in some overs from him. That was the only reason, and just to lengthen your batting, and that's also another reason why you went in with 3 all-rounders. So is he that bowler or not? I'm still not sure, and because I'm just going to this instance only. If you have to keep the wicketkeeper on the stumps during a test match at the MCG, I think that is a clear sign that as a bowler you're not up to the mark in Test cricket. I'm not talking about white ball cricket, just specifically Test cricket. That was a sign for me that clearly showed me that I don't think that he is the bowler who can deliver the same way a Hardik Pandya could in Test cricket. Because I just take you back to the 2022 T20 World Cup as well. When Bhuvneshwar Kumar got Rishabh Pant onto the stumps, I think the world knew, we as people watching the game knew, that that was sort of the end of the game for us there, and also the end of sort of Bhuvneshwar Kumar being on his last leg. So I think these are signs which clearly sort of show, now if he develops that skill and all of that, that's a different thing altogether. But as of now, I don't think he's the bowler you need in Test cricket. For sure, he's not a wicket taker. With the bat, definitely he's been great. But now, moving ahead, treat him like a batter. That's all I would want. That's the best way to utilize Nitish Reddy in Test cricket.
Okay, valid point. I'm not going to deny that. But then, Nitish Reddy, the thing that usually comes after his name is an all-rounder. And if you really want to groom him, I think there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes work that has to happen. But then that was the first point, that when you're playing with a total of 6 bowlers, something that I mentioned, you need to use your resources very carefully. You cannot really overstretch your premier pace bowlers. Secondly,
see, I'll just give you an example. Saurav Ganguly played in the team as a batter. He's somebody who could also bowl.
Bowl a bit.
Yeah, bowl
like
a
Sachin
bit.
Tendulkar,
like
for that
Sachin
matter.
Tendulkar. So Nitish Reddy can be used in that way, where you can use him to change ends, or just to ease the pressure of just, a sort of a golden arm. Not as a bowler you expect him to, sort of pick those wickets on a constant basis. Somebody who can, not even a Shardul Thakur for that matter, because Shardul Thakur was
He's a bowling
a
all-rounder.
bowler who could bat.
Yeah.
He is a batter who could bowl a bit. You cannot expect him to run through attacks and sort of win you games with the ball.
Fair point. I'm not going to deny that. Just that, I see his role very differently in the next few test matches or so, maybe in a couple of years or so. I think when India travel to England and fitness permitting, I see Nitish Reddy bowling a lot more overs. So I think that's something that obviously remains to be seen. But then the second point, obviously, I don't think you trust your batting. I don't think you trust your top order. That's, I think, a very worrying sign for India. You cannot really just hope for the lower middle order or the middle order to bail you out of the tough waters. I think let's just go back to the Australian team of 2011-2012, and that's something, I think both of you would really be able to relate. When India toured down under during that tour, despite losing 4-0, there were plenty times when you really had Australia in a spot of bother. Australia were 30 for 3, 40 for 4 in a few situations. Their top order wasn't really getting those big runs like Yashasvi Jaiswal. It was David Warner who just played a good innings or two there, and then, as always, it was up to the lower middle order and the middle order, 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8, to bail you out of the tough situations. Mike Hussey, Michael Clark, Brad Haddon, and maybe I think there was
Ricky Ponting. Ricky Ponting wasn't there in the series.
Yeah, Mitchell Johnson wasn't there. I think he was nursing an ankle surgery, if I'm not wrong.
A toe
yeah,
that toe. He had suffered in that South Africa tour.
Yeah. So it was, I think, down to that only, and India cannot really do that. The point with Nitish Reddy, Washington Sundar, and to an extent with Ravindra Jadeja, it looks that when they come out to bat, they look more assured batters. Now, when a certain Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli come out to bat, now despite Virat Kohli scoring a good 36 of 86, I never personally felt that he looked absolutely comfortable at the crease, because the moment Scott Boland continued to bowl him in that corridor of uncertainty, that 5th or the 6th stump, I just knew that an outside edge is coming.
The bigger sign that you don't trust your trust your batting order is you played 3 all-rounders batting till 9, and you still had to send a night watchman 20 minutes remaining. That's clearly how insecure you are about your batting.
See, let's just focus a bit on Nitish Reddy. I mean, look at it. I mean, one former selector deserves all the credit for uncovering Nitish Kumar Reddy. I mean, we often credit people, other players, family and all of that. But one person who deserves the credit in uncovering Nitish Reddy's talent is Manav Shrikant Prasad, or MSK Prasad, as you all know him.
Former India keeper, batter and chief selector.
And chief selector in that 2019 period, who was infamous for a lot of other things. But one thing you can't doubt him is that he discovered a Nitish Reddy. Okay, short selection, playing according to the situation is something that Nitish Reddy has shown in this series. Batted, he's the only guy, if I am not mistaken, who has got a double-digit score each time he's come out to bat.
Exactly.
He's gotten 340s, if I'm not mistaken, 138, 116, and now a 105 that he's hit.
I think he could be the highest run scorer for you.
He is the highest run scorer, 284 runs. Okay. Yeah. But you are also looking at the bowling aspect also. Now, the bowling aspect has veered 180 degrees. He's not had that much of an impact. In Brisbane, he ensured he leaked plenty of runs. And here also, he just change spell, he wasn't that penetrative or he didn't look effective. Okay. Now going forward, you needed someone to step up in Hardik Pandya's place. I mean, Hardik Pandya had given you impact both with the bat and the ball in his brief tenure that he had in Test match cricket. Scored 100 in Sri Lanka, got you 5 wickets in England.
Trent Bridge.
But then aside from that, his injuries ensured he will not play Test cricket ever. Now, Nitish Reddy has kind of had a similar start with the bat. Aggressive knocks, good strike rate, securing the lower order in a way that, okay, you can escape yourself. But then, as a bowler, when you look at it, he's just not been up to the mark. Let us be very honest about it. But today, the Indian cricket fan will not be complaining about it. Okay, we have at least managed to ensure that the deficit is not 200.
Yeah.
Anyway, if it was 200, Australia would have still not enforced the follow-on, because the pitch, looking at it, is looking pretty decent to bat even now. Sluggish, which means taking 20 wickets the next time around. It's not going to be easy.
And I think there were first signs of awkward bounce also. I think let's just go back to that Scott Boland over, 104th over. I remember it was the 5th delivery of that particular over. Back of a length, angling in from outside off. And it really had that awkward bounce to it. It really bounced a lot and it hit Nitish Reddy on his midriff region. I think maybe that's the first signs of deteriorating a little.
But tomorrow there will be a lot more deterioration towards the fag end. Okay. But now time might be at a premium, because what this partnership has done, more than keep India alive in the BGT, has eaten up valuable time. Australia would have been wondering today by second session, let's get them all out. But now it's extended to day 4. They could take another 5-6 overs to do that also. Perhaps the deficit will come down to under 100. Then if you have to set the tone on this pitch, they will want to score 250, 300 in quick time.
True.
Ensure they get a crack at India towards maybe 1 hour left for stumps on day 4. But then this test match is going to 5th day. And whether India will chase it down, whether they can afford to chase it down, because I think 282 is the highest chased in Melbourne ever. No one's ever chased it successfully. So that is why you will need 350 plus heading into the final day as a buffer. Do Australia have the time? Is the pitch going to break up that much? Will there be enough time to take all the 10 wickets?
You just give India batters 1 day to you'll give yourself just 1 day to get the Indian team all out. I don't think they'll need a little more time.
No, then you don't have time.
The weather also.
No, the weather is fine.
Decent, yeah.
The weather is fine. For today was the day when you're going to have rain. And it did rain. It rained in the first hour of the last session. It's rained at the last. So that is why the rain is gone for tomorrow day. It will be cloudy. There won't be much of sun. But then will the pitch break up that easily? I don't think so. So that's why taking 10 wickets is going to be a big challenge, unless the Australian team commit harakiri. Unless Australia commit harakiri, which they very well, this batting unit, I have more confidence in them committing harakiri than this Indian batting order at this point in time. Because you've got buffer until number 9. I am not concerned about the top order. You've prepared your batting order in such a way that you've got buffer until number 9. Okay. So that is why, looking at the current situation, this Nitish Reddy knock and the 127 run stand with Washington Sundar has eaten up valuable time.
Yeah.
So now Australia are in a catch-22. If the deficit goes to below 100, and if they get all out for 180 or 200, then they are in serious trouble.
Assuming the sun doesn't come out and the pitch doesn't break.
They have a total of, then India would have to chase 280 or
280, 290, but I think it could be possible. Unless the top order steps up for one more time. And then if you win Melbourne, you don't lose the BGT. See, I know Sapne aside and dreams aside.
If you end up drawing this test match, I think it will be a great escape.
But then see, this knock will then come into broader significance for the simple fact that, okay, you didn't have that big deficit. You ate up valuable time on day 3. Day 3 is always the moving day. Tomorrow, if Australia suffer a collapse, say 180 all out or 150
then
all
India
out,
are back in the game.
They are back in the game, and this knock will then have greater significance than when you look at it. But then a collapse on this wicket doesn't seem easy.
See, all they need is, I think, just keeping 100-run deficit for India. I'm saying 20 more runs by the last wicket tomorrow. 100 runs, if they're 200 runs, and how quickly can they score 200 runs tomorrow?
Supposing if they score 200 runs in
Two
40
sessions?
overs, 40 to 50
Then
overs.
India would have a see. I don't think that Australia would take the risk of allowing India to bat maybe around 120 odd overs totally in the second innings, and maybe have a target of about 300. See, Australia do have a lot of cushion in their bowling, but let's just be very clear about it. Their bowlers are as tired as the Indian bowlers are.
Yeah.
So you would want that extra, cushion of 50 odd runs, maybe a target of about 360 or 370. I think that would still
See,
be
what is the
enough.
ideal situation is get a total of 360, 380, okay, that lead for Australia, okay. Get about 1 hour before stumps in that period. Bowl about 10, 12 overs, okay. And then go full tilt, 90 overs, 98 overs. Because now I think there'll be 98 overs bowled in the 2
exactly.
days.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So, you have potentially, you would want 100 overs.
I think Australia should just bat for about 50 odd overs tomorrow and rest of the time give it to it.
No,
because,
no. You see,
seeing the Indian batting now,
no, I think, see, this wicket will not 50 overs, supposing they hit only 200.
it's already a little sort of started to deteriorate.
I am just saying bat for 3 sessions, okay, 2.5 sessions.
And that should be okay.
Then insert India in the tricky 1 hour. And then tomorrow, I mean, on the final day, go for it. This test is heading for a 5-day finish, whatever way you look at it. It will be a close one, though.
But then I think which brings me to one of the I feel is one of the most interesting points. In the past maybe 2-3 months or so, we all have been discussing how Test cricket is changing, how modern day batters have really taken to Test cricket, how they are probably going about their games. I think we look at the innings of both Nitish Reddy and Washington Sundar. Sundar 50, 162 balls, 1 boundary, strike rate 31. Nitish Reddy 105, 176 balls, strike rate almost 60. Traditional Test cricket, typical Test cricket, keeping India well and truly alive in BGT. Why was it really missing in the first 3 Test matches?
I mean, it wasn't missing. The lower order bailed you out in Brisbane. The lower orders bailed you out even in Melbourne. It was evident in Perth. But then apart from that, there was nothing else to show. Adelaide was a colossal failure from the batting unit, okay. Here, the lower order only has bailed you. And I think the symptomatic factor in that is, okay, what is the prime symptom? Today, Rishabh Pant's shot. Okay. He had attempted a scoop for a previous bowler, Scott Boland.
Yeah.
And I think Pant knew that if you scoop Boland, if you try to do all that, his confidence does take a blow. But today, 2 bad misses and 1 went off the leading edge to deep third man. Sunil Gavaskar was absolutely livid. He called it stupid, and one more time stupid 4 times. 4 times he's called it stupid. Now, what is the fine line between recklessness and natural game?
See, this is not the first time Pant has played such kind of a shot, and definitely it's not the last time. And more often than not, the narrative that has been set is he plays like that. He plays like that only.
Without
That's
situational
his-
awareness.
That's his natural game. So, like, what do you do about it? Today he was going, I think, really well. Had he maybe stayed on the crease for another half an hour or so, I think he would have been unbeaten at stumps.
However, look, see, Australia have gotten their plans for Pant. Let's be very, very honest about it. They've got their plans for Pant. Which is why he's averaged 24. The worst he's averaged in Australia ever since he's come here. Okay. On the other hand, there is a line which was crossed today, and I will agree with Sunil Gavaskar on it. Okay. Virender Sehwag was often criticized.
Yeah.
Because I remember one match that against Sri Lanka, wide delivery from Chanaka Velagedra, he went chasing after it, toe ended it to the slips and got out. And India, I think, struggled.
Yeah.
Here, you were 191 for 5. You were staring at a deficit of 270 still, 280 nearly. Why would you want to play that shot? I know that there is a line in cricket that if it pays off, it is audacious. But the second part of that line is if it doesn't pay off, you look foolish. Pant veered towards that line today. It was 11th over when you look at it. It was, I think, how much? You were at the end of the day, how much you are? 161, right? Only 10 overs were done with the second new ball earlier. This was 10 more overs. I could have understood if he just prodded at it and got out, okay, that was a good ball. But this wasn't a good ball. It was a bad shot. Now, I'm calling it a spade. I'm not looking at Rishabh Pant's viewpoint at all. Like what we are seeing in the run-out debate that happened yesterday. I'm not looking at Rishabh Pant's viewpoint. I'm looking at team situation. What if Washington Sundar and Nitish Reddy had not stitched that partnership? Then you would have all blamed Rishabh Pant for that horrendous shot, right?
Yeah, you would have been batting once again.
No, you wouldn't have been batting once again. Australia wouldn't have enforced. Today, Australia would have had a lead in excess of 350. Today, realistically. I am saying that irrespective of the partnership, that shot by Rishabh Pant was disastrous. Somewhere down the line, Test cricket will bite you back hard. Respect the format for what it is. Sam Constas, if he tries to do it to Jasprit Bumrah yet again in the second innings, he is not escaping.
Exactly.
He was very, very lucky in the first 2 overs.
Bumrah is not going to make the same mistake again.
Exactly. So that's why if Sam Constas doesn't adapt to that, he's going to get caught out. The same will happen with Rishabh Pant. Each and every time you cannot escape it. Which is why in my book, it was, I agree with Sunil Gavaskar, it was a terrible shot. It was a terrible shot to make. And you have to thank Nitish Reddy and Washington Sundar for the partnership. Otherwise, you would have been in even bigger trouble, and Rishabh Pant was your main contributing factor with that shot.
Rishabh Pant would have been the main contributing factor.
Behind that, I mean, that
other
collapse.
batters who've been there in the side for so long who are not raising their hand.
Didn't we criticize them yesterday
itself?
itself?
Not criticizing. No. See, I'm telling you, the public, our memories are very short.
No.
I'm telling you, na.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is this is a very convenient argument in that sense.
No, not a convenient argument. What I'm trying to tell you is, heading into this series, there were just 2 batters you were banking on: Rishabh Pant and Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Correct.
Nobody else. Okay. One shot, Rishabh Pant in the first Test match, same shot. He hit, was it Pat Cummins or Mitchell Stark? I don't.
Pat Cummins.
It was Mitchell
Pat
Stark
Cummins.
also.
Yeah.
He hit him over square leg for same shot for a 6.
Correct.
Okay. This is the way Rishabh Pant plays. He has won you n number of matches. Recent times he has been your match winner. So if he's getting out like this, I'm absolutely okay with this, because I know even going into the second innings, when you have to save the Test match, we sitting here will still be banking on a Rishabh Pant only more than anyone else in this batting lineup.
Fine, okay. We are saying this because Nitish Reddy and Washington Sundar have saved you.
Yeah.
We are saying this
Anyways, you
openly.
would not have lost the match because of Rishabh Pant, na?
No, I am saying he is one of the factors. I never said he is the factor. I am saying
he's the most successful batter in this batting lineup in recent times.
not in this series.
Balla, that's absolutely
Not in this series.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
But he's won you so many series.
See, one
With
of the
this
Virat
same
Kohli
approach.
has won you so many series.
No,
Rohit
no,
Sharma
no.
has won
With
you
the
so many
same
series.
approach. Rishabh Pant
No,
with the same approach.
we can't have different colors for different shades. I mean, let's
no,
look
that-
at it. Today you are criticizing Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma because they have not been contributing. But then, if you look at the judgment of history, they won you far more. Rishabh Pant agreed. But the judgment of history is, oh, he's won you so many games. That is a very lazy argument.
Rishabh
What
Pant-
I had a problem with Gulati's argument is, oh, they have reached finals and they have reached semi-finals. My main thing is, this is a very 80s and 90s defeatist attitude that we always used to peddle. And I'm surprised he was not even born in the 80s. I have survived the 80s and the 90s with this defeatist attitude that, oh, they at least have won particular games here. You hailed India winning in 1999 that one game in Adelaide. That
Siddharth,
one game.
Okay,
Now, with this particular argument that you've got, if you lose, the trophy is gone. In more ways than one, the trophy is
That
gone.
Rishabh Pant isn't the reason you're losing.
I am
na,
saying
Rishi sir.
one of the reasons. One of the
Absolutely.
reasons.
But if you
this is
win
where I
the-
agree with him. He is one of the reasons. Balla,
Look.
performances speak for themselves.
Look, for far too long we rest on our laurels. Far too long, okay? By that logic, a Sam
month and
Constas
a
is
half
on.
back he got that century in Bengaluru.
Oh no, he didn't get a century in Bengaluru. He was out on 99.
Yeah, almost a century.
No, almost a century. Don't focus on the semantics at this point in time. There are certain instances By when you have to know the match situation.
Exactly. And I don't deny
If
that.
you play on match situations, then you would never have won Gaba last time when you went there. Because on
Correct.
match
Listen.
situation, you lost that game.
No.
Or before entering day 5.
Sundar and, if you look at it, Sundar and Shardul Thakur saved you in the first innings in Gaba. 123 run
but
partnership.
If you just go on match situations,
Rishabh
you
Pant-
would have gone to save that match, not to win that match.
Rishabh Pant on 97 played a terrible shot in Sydney. But then, no, that is how he plays. It was Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin who saved you in Sydney. Let us be very honest about it.
You would have went to draw the match in Gaba last time. You would have went to draw the game, not to win it, and you would have lost it there.
The platform was laid by a certain player who wasn't playing in this particular game.
Shubman Gill.
Yes.
Acha, platform here was set by him. First innings he scored 97. There it was the people who came after him.
First innings. Who scored first innings?
Rishabh Pant
97.
97. I'm saying.
It was the second innings, my friend.
You were saying Shardul and.
Pant didn't score 97 in the Gaba.
Okay. Let's just clear the confusion. MCG, Ajinkya Rahane 100. SCG, Pant 97. And
That saved the
Gaba,
test
second
match after
innings.
that.
Gaba
That you
second
saved the
innings,
test
Gill
match
91.
after
So
that.
let's
Yeah.
just be clear about
42
the stats.
overs.
Yeah.
It was batted out by Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin.
Correct.
It was not because of Rishabh. Rishabh Pant gave you a chance to win, but then when he went out, you had a chance to lose. That was the match situation.
But you got that platform because you had a chance to lose.
You squandered the platform. This shot you cannot justify in any sense of the way.
Why can't you justify this shot? This is the same shot that has won you games, so many games.
Which game has he won? Which game has he won apart from Gaba? With this shot. This shot. Please be very. This shot. Which shot?
This is how he plays. And
No,
I'm
which
ready.
shot?
You'll drop him.
In
Okay,
Gaba-
you tell me, is he the one you'll drop because of this shot?
Excuse me. Now you are going on a different tangent altogether. You can rewind the footage. Did I mention Rishabh Pant getting dropped? Excuse me. This is a typical Indian fan behavior. Just don't go on the defensive. I'm
not
just
going
saying
into defensive.
this is
What?
defensive because
These
for
are-
one simple reason. From this kind of shot, the shot that he got out to today, tell me which match has he won?
He plays all the shots like
No,
this.
Gaba wasn't like that. Gaba was typical Rishabh Pant playing aggressively down the ground. It wasn't particularly, I'm scooping, I'm doing this. Nothing like
The
that.
scooping came way late in the
Way
innings.
later.
did come, na.
But no.
It
It,
did- yeah,
He
it
plays like this.
It
no,
did come,
but
yeah.
Yeah,
when
the
when you
Nathan
needed
Lyle
10
hit
runs
that.
to win, when you needed 10 runs to win, Sundar tried that particular thing, the Natraj shot, it came off. Okay. But apart from Gaba, which match has he won with that shot?
It has to come.
Which match has he won? If you can't get an answer, then your theory is dispelled.
How is it?
It
All
is.
I'm telling you is he's the greatest, one of your greatest match winners in recent time in Test cricket.
Okay.
This is how he plays.
Okay.
This is how he plays. This is how he will play.
Fun fact. Do you know the fun fact, Gulati? I think you will know. Out of all his hundreds, India have never won when you look at it. It's been draws and losses. This is a fact.
You won in Chennai, Bangladesh.
I'm talking about Sena countries.
Sena.
Not
Yeah,
India.
yeah.
India you won.
90s we are not counting here, of course, because it doesn't come in
Hundreds. I'm talking about hundreds
Yeah. Now
in the
we are
Sena.
obsessed with 100.
No. We are not. I'm not obsessed about
You're
hundreds.
the same person who says that 90 should be counted.
90s
as 100.
but then you drew Sydney. You didn't win Sydney.
Which
You
is a-
drew Sydney. Let us be very
You're
honest
saying
about it.
Okay.
Rishabh Pant was not the main contributor.
Firstly,
in
you
your
have
last time nine
misinterpreted. Firstly, you have misinterpreted the whole argument like a typical Indian fan. I am saying Rishabh Pant is one of the factors. One of the factors which could have led India to disaster in an already frail top order. But today
Could
it
have
will
been
be
Rishabh
swept
Pant.
under the bar.
One of the reasons, yeah, definitely could have been one of
End
the
of
reasons.
story.
But that
I'm-
doesn't mean you can be okay with that. He is the main reason because you started this with Sunil
Today,
Gavaskar.
today he was because you had only 4 batting orders that were
No,
there.
that's why that's the problem. I'm saying he cannot be the only reason. That's you're
The
saying.
last
That's what you're
recognized
saying.
pair.
No,
The
no,
last
no, no, no.
recognized pair.
Arey
You are
to-
expecting a bonus from Nitish Reddy and Washington Sundar, which they gave you.
What I'm saying is he could not have been the only reason for your loss
Of
here.
course,
How?
of course.
You have
One shot can often change people's destinies. And I'm sorry to say this, it has happened in the past. When Surya Kumar Yadav played that audacious looking thing, what happened in the ODI World Cup final? He tried, it didn't work out.
You lost the
failed.
World Cup because of that.
All because of that.
Oh, sir, come on.
And Virat
This
Kohli's
is
shot.
going too much.
No, you suggested he be dropped. I never suggested he be dropped.
You were saying you lost the World Cup because of that.
Mike Gatting's 1987 reverse sweep.
Vishy sir,
You lost the World Cup final
I'm
because
saying
of that.
just Surya Kumar Yadav shot, you lost the World Cup there.
It was already, you are on very tender ground at that time. KL Rahul had ensured.
Vishy sir, because you were on a tender ground, why you reached the tender ground, that is also has to be
Which
kept
we
in
have already
consideration.
mentioned. Which I have already mentioned yesterday. You are not there. You came, but but your mind was somewhere else. Because what I said was Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, all didn't step up.
Yeah.
How much more do we have to criticize them today?
No, that's
when they were not even part of the action.
I am telling you, I'm saying Rishabh Pant's shot would have been one of the reasons, but not
No,
the only
now he
reason.
conveniently changed.
No,
He conveniently changed by saying just rewind the tape. You conveniently changed by now
started
saying.
this debate because you were coming only on Rishabh Pant.
Of course. What was that? What was the need for that shot? Please give me any logical reason. It can't be termed a natural thing. We are foolish if we do that.
Okay, let's just be clear about a couple of things. See, Rishabh Pant plays in a certain manner. It's a well-established fact. We have seen it over the last 6 years or so, ever since he made his Test debut. And I can agree with one point that it was an audacious scoop or a kind of shot that he's played in the past. Also, has got him results sometimes. Didn't really get the desired results the other times also. That's the way he plays, and that may just be once again the argument. Having said that, when Sunil Gavaskar called his particular shot stupid, I don't think he was wrong, because at that very moment, Pant, I think he could have made a better decision. Although one thing that would still go in favor of him is that he plays in a certain way, but then at that very moment he did not really make the best of the decisions, irrespective of how Sundar and Nitish Reddy have played.
That's why I'm telling you, if we just go as far as his making decisions is concerned, then many situations where you would have lost the match, if we just go by
I get that.
situation-wise, you would have lost that game. But you ended up drawing or winning that game because he did not play according to the situation. Also, secondly, we were talking about this fact that the Australian team would not give just 280, 290. They would want that 50-run buffer so that the Indian team doesn't go after it in just one day. Who are you banking on to score? Who is the Australian team scared of?
Rishabh
Who
Pant.
can score? Exactly. Why are they scared of Rishabh Pant? Because he plays like this. That's the only reason they would give 350. If you exclude Rishabh Pant out of this batting lineup, 280 runs, any team would go ahead and give India to chase on one day.
Correct.
It's just Rishabh Pant because of whom you want to give those 50, 60 runs odd extra, because you know that he's that X factor who can come out and just take the game away from you.
No one is denying that at all.
That's absolutely fine. We both are not denying it.
This series, he's been found out so far.
Yeah, that has
Exactly.
been true,
Now,
but we cannot call him out for that.
Point number one. You can go after it for the shot. 2 balls prior to that, he had gotten a premonition. 2 balls prior. He missed the shot. The pitch wasn't conducive for that.
It wasn't bouncing that much.
Yet he went for it, which is why match awareness. It's great to be aggressive, great to have that fear factor bit. But boss,
I think
this can ensure that fear factor thing is gone.
as long as he plays Test cricket, but today he did not really make the best of the decisions, and I think it's okay. Like, if we accepted he has a different argument, there's nothing wrong
Which I had
with it.
mentioned at the very start.
Yeah.
If it pays off, it looks today.
But then, see,
But that's the way he plays.
as much as we have, just top order failing in those crucial moments,
And they still go to 30s.
that's not proving to be enough.
It
Yeah,
is
that's not
the
proving to be
same
enough. That's
argument
why I'm
that
telling- I'm
it is
not
the
saying-
same argument. 40s,
Arey, I'm
40s,
seeing
30s.
Rishabh been the match winner on occasions, but that hasn't been the case. But we cannot put that on the style gameplay that he does. He does not do that. He's not being able to do that. That's his game. That I'm not ready to buy, because exactly a few matches reason. If you just take Rishabh Pant out,
reasons to also have a psychological hold. It's Rishabh Pant is one of them. There are others also. They know the deep batting lineup that is there. You got buffer until number 9. That's the prime reason they would want a total in excess of 350, 400 in that range. If you can get there. If you can. So today only 4 wickets for
MCG track of 2017.
I'll reserve my
Because
judgment.
at that time also the sun did. I think
Let's
maybe
see.
it's turning out like that only.
Okay, so
Okay.
we will wrap it up quickly. K. Venugopal Rao, Hanuma Vihari, K. Making
Absolutely.
NKR.
He looks
Indeed.
a sure shot.
Told by X.
Okay.
By
Sun-
Shah-
the Sundar is- So